Hello and welcome back to...
Maybe not.
Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the podcast where we here at What Pictures talk everything to do with films. My name's Matt Lidster. I am not your host. To my right, we have...
Dill, also not the host.
And to our left, Adil's right,
Oh, please,
Nice.
is our very own host, Miss Sophie Ellis.
We don't need to announce that I'm the host each week.
Yes, we do.
Because
Because...
the world deserves to know you're shirking your duties.
Shirking your responsibilities. Like the unprofessional host you are.
It's okay though.
And as the unprofessional host, I'll hand it back to you to talk about the film news this week.
Film news! Alright, yeah, we're starting up with a brand new segment where we're just going to talk about...
I was terrified you're going to try and make up a jingle for yourself on the spot.
We need jingles.
Don't do it.
Just not ones where me and Dill like. Tapping on
Just trying to
everything.
work out a rhythm.
We'll get something for it, maybe, at some point. I don't know. But you guys have talked about it.
Oh yeah.
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 We have, yeah.
And it's just opened recently, and it's on course to be the biggest horror film opening of all time.
Of all time.
Wow.
All time.
Bloody hell.
With apparently it's grabbed $16.1 million so far on 10,000 screens, but it is projected to come up with $103 to $108 million within its first weekend.
Wow.
Do you know why that's insane though? Because that came out yesterday.
Yeah,
on the
like
8th.
they already got there.
Yeah,
I suppose they're thinking about other markets as well. Is that just the UK? I was also going to ask, I don't know if you know, but do you know like what it beat out? So what used to be the number one horror film of all time?
Oh, I don't know what the old one was.
Because I was just going to think like it'd be interesting to try and guess what it'd be. Like I don't think it'd be maybe one of the Paranormal Activities.
Yeah, I feel like...
Because my original thought was like, oh, it's got to be one of those like the heyday ones, like Texas Chainsaw or whatever. But I'm actually thinking now maybe it's one of the Paranormal Activities or one of the more recent ones like that.
I
feel like Insidious or like The
Insidious.
Conjuring or something was like a massive thing at one point. I don't think Babadook and Mama were quite up there, but Insidious and Conjuring were really big at one point. I didn't think that it would be that popular. Like obviously it's a remake of Stephen King, but I didn't think that people would give it a chance.
Well, it's a strange one because like if you think about the marketing for it, it's almost been left to its own devices. Like I can't think about being ballooned with like trailers and adverts and before films and stuff like that.
I like the balloon.
I don't know where balloon came from. It didn't make any sense. But
It does in relation to the film.
does it? Alright,
Yeah, with the red balloon.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
What about the original?
No, not seen any.
Wait,
of
you've
it.
not even seen the original?
To be fair, I've not seen the full original.
I've watched like 7 horror films ever, and I found them all kind of stupid.
We should definitely go and
Yeah.
watch it though.
Yeah. Wait, so you've only seen part 1?
I've seen parts of the original.
So you've not even seen it all the
I've
way
not
through?
seen it all the way through, no.
Oh, wow. I got shown it by my dad. Me and...
How old were you?
That was only a couple of years ago. Liam was staying around at mine.
You could have made it up.
I know, yeah.
And he was like, do you want to watch this? And we were like, yeah, okay. And then we watched the first part of it, and you have to turn the DVD over to like, watch the next part of it.
Oh wow.
Which was kind of cool, because I thought they missed out on a really cool jump scare to kind of do that, because if they kind of flip the DVD over, if you put it in, the first thing that could pop up while you're right next to the DVD player is the face.
That'd
That
be
would have been cool.
What if it made
But-
it set on fire? That would have scared people. You turn it over and it explodes.
Well, I don't know what the actual top, like the fastest
Yeah, I
opening
reckon it's probably
gross
one of those ones.
weekend is, but apparently the biggest grossing horror film of all time is The Sixth Sense, with 293 million.
Oh, bloody hell.
Which actually, if it does go along that projection, it should be able to smash it.
Yeah.
Especially the way films go recently. Like most things are going over, well, not most things, but quite a lot of things are going over $1 billion now.
It's a strange one as well because like I don't know. I don't feel like people go to this. Well, people are going to the cinema less
Yeah.
because of like Netflix and shit like that. But I think that these kind of films where it's like, especially horror films, like it benefits from the atmosphere. Like everybody's kind of in the same kind of dread, so that kind of adds to it. And then also you've got like the big screen and the sound and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think like when cinemas really do start going out of fashions, like horror films will be one of the main ways like they're still necessary.
I feel like horror and really CGI.
Oh yeah, like
Like-
Avatar type things.
Yeah, because that's
Just
something you have to
spectacles.
see in cinema.
Yeah.
Although that film, what was the film that's come out recently that didn't do well at all? And
Valerian.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
still wanted to watch that, but apparently that did shocking, and because of like the CGI and everything, I thought that would do really well.
Yeah.
So it's something that you'd want to see in cinema.
I think they kind of miss, like, I don't think sci-fi's big anymore, and I think they thought like, oh, like the Star Wars films are doing well, the Star Trek reboots did okay, we'll do like a sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
But like, can you think of other sci-fi films recently that have gone well? I might be
No.
talking my arse
No.
here.
No, I mean,
I
you've got
can't
a
really
good
think of anything.
example with Passengers. I mean, that was supposed to be,
And that,
you know,
yeah.
two of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now, and apparently that.
Yeah, but I feel like that was the main thing that they tried to use to make that film good. Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
oh, this isn't a good enough plot. Let's bring these two most popular classes, the most attractive celebrities. Let's put them in there, and even that didn't work. So
Yeah, like I think too many big films nowadays, like the studios have worked out. Maybe that used to work, but I don't know how much it works now. That like you attach the biggest name going right now to it, and it'll kind of save whatever like
yeah,
The Rock with like Baywatch and everything. Like Tom Cruise with
Yeah.
his mummy stuff, even though that failed massively.
God, yeah.
Actually, really good examples of stuff that did really badly.
Yeah,
I don't think they should do it like what we were saying before. It's better if you can't put
yeah,
a name.
we were talking before.
Yeah,
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 just
we
before
can't.
the podcast, we were talking about, what was it?
Well, I was saying for horror films, like it's almost worse to have a recognizable person in it because it takes you out of the whole like why is Matt Damon in Haunted House was the example I used.
Yeah,
But, like it's almost better with nobodies because then it's more relatable. Like it could be anybody.
yeah,
That's kind of the point of a lot of horror films. I think it's like it's all random, isn't it?
yeah.
These guys decide to go on holiday here, or like pick up this haunted gorilla hand or whatever the hell horror films have in them. I don't watch it. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, that was the one thing that sort of pulled me out of The Conjuring because that had Vera Farmiga.
Farmiga.
Yeah, because she's one of the main characters in it. She's part of the couple that goes to investigate, and as soon as I see her, it sort of completely pulls you out. Like obviously it's different if it's comedies or something, or even romance. It's you can relate to that. That's not anything. But if it's a horror, you have to be drawn into it and feel like you could be a part of that. But if you're there like, oh, there's Leonardo DiCaprio, it's not the same at all.
Leonardo.
It's not like entirely related, but I was just thinking then, like, do you know with romance, rom-coms and stuff, I've always kind of thought there's like a couple of people, like a man and a woman or whatever, for every kind of like generation of horror. Like there was a Matthew McConaughey time, and there was like a Channing Tatum time, like a
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling time. But I don't know who it would be now. Like it feels like there's nobody really keeping it alive. That I can, like what's
I get
Can
what
you think of any
mean,
recent
'cause,
films that
like
come
within
out?
the last couple of years, it was like,
Like,
Jennifer
who's the
Lawrence's
name,
time,
right?
Then it was Chris Pratt's time.
but for rom-coms, like for romantic films specifically.
Oh, for rom-com specific.
Yeah.
Or like not necessarily rom-coms, but just romantic films. Like it was a Ryan Gosling time as well,
Mm.
but I'm not sure he's still on that. So I'm
Although
like,
the Goose is
I don't
coming
think
back
it is.
soon. The Goose is going to be in Blade Runner 2.
yeah, with Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
2049 or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
I've got
and
some
he's also
friends
been
who are
in La
super
La
excited.
Land.
Yeah, he was in La La Land. That's true. Like he does do a fair amount of them. Maybe it's him, but like I feel like he's started to transition a bit into like kind of gritty, because he was like a character actor when he was younger. That's what a lot of people don't know about Ryan Gosling. He did a lot of really good kind of independent films as a teenager. Like he was genuinely good acting as a teenager,
Yeah.
and then he became like this buzzword, like weird, has it all guy, like super charming and normal seeming. And
Was
funny.
that about the time he did The Notebook?
Maybe The Notebook might have been like the precipitating film, I reckon, for him. Like,
Yeah,
that tipped him
maybe.
over the edge.
Which would be a really good segue if we were about to go into other stuff. But I still have more films.
Yeah, I figured. I was thinking of different ways to try and bring it back, but I figured you'd have more news.
Well, I've only got two other bits of news. Mainly because I didn't know these were properties that were being developed. And it's Tomb Raider. New Tomb Raider film coming out, and it was an exclusive new look at Alicia Vikander's Lara Croft.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard she's been Lara Croft.
Yeah.
It's an interesting angle as well, because
It is.
she doesn't fit the natural dimensions to be like douchey about it.
Yeah.
But she's very good.
Yeah, she'll definitely pull it off.
I think the voice as well, she's got a cool, like, there's like a like kind of intelligent, kind of upper class-ish British voice that's kind of hot for Lara Croft, and I think she'll be
Yeah.
able to pull it off.
I think it's much more in tone with the games that were really successful recently as well, especially looking at that image. So
A bit more kind of gritty.
yeah, kind of like starting off with an origin where she has to kind of realise who she is rather than like starting straight off with Angelina's Jolie's version of her, what, a couple of
Yeah,
years ago?
that was just like a kind of straight up action like dump loads of Angelina Jolie in shorts at you. Just fine.
And then last bit of news, just I didn't know this was happening, but Daddy's Home 2 trailer has just been dropped.
I really enjoyed that first one. I'm not usually into those kind of films, but
I like as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I want to see this, and it took me ages to go and watch it, but I've never been so satisfied for like a build up of a film.
That's the film that met all expectations for you.
Yeah, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are like two of my favourites ever.
You've seen the other guys, haven't you?
Yeah.
They do a lot of good, like...
They're so good together. Oh, yeah, no. They both nail comedy for me, but in completely different ways. Like, Mark Wahlberg proper gets the sarcastic, horrible side.
I was going to say, I think he believes everything he says in character.
Yeah.
It's not really meant to be funny, but they realise, like... Do you know, like, Leslie Nielsen from Airplane?
Yeah.
The reason he crushed the, like, audition was because he didn't realise it was a comedy. Like,
Yeah.
He just... Apparently, if you talk to the man... He just doesn't understand a joke when someone says a joke to him. He just has no functioning sense of humour.
Well, I wish I could.
So he's playing...
But...
Yeah, or whatever. But yeah, like someone like that, like just if you don't try and act funny, I think it's almost the best way to sometimes.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows those people as well who would just like have no intention to do so, but are the funniest people you ever met. Just because if you pay attention to them for any like period of 5 minutes, they'll do something that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's annoying for someone who tries to be funny.
I know. Yeah, someone's naturally funny and doesn't know it.
So yeah, that's my film news wrap up for this week.
I was never really happy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider. I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. Did you not know she was confirmed for anything?
No. Plus, because I don't really know who she is as well. You know, just going back to that conversation we were having before about having unknowns in films.
Yeah.
I think that's for me. I think that's the reason why Star Wars did so well. You know, the new one.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't use big names.
Yeah, well,
but
they kind of use big
people.
names just to kind of bring it back, because obviously you need those characters in there as well. But
I think it's part of the history of Star Wars as well, is that like they'll bring people in new, but then they'll also have like real established kind of well respected actors in there, like Alec Guinness was in the original days and stuff.
Yeah, as well as
that's why like I saw him as like the Forest Whitaker, like just get someone who everybody knows does good work and just let him do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is this your segue? Or are we meant to?
I don't know. Everyone's staring at me.
I thought that was the perfect segue time into whatever we're doing next.
Yeah.
Into whatever we're doing next. Well, I thought we'd talk about my recommendation for last week. So,
I forgot we were talking about. Yeah.
So the genre for this week is romance, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So we've moved way past that. And I recommended 10 Things I Hate About You because I love that film. It's amazing. And I'm pretty sure you said you liked it, Dill.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot over like the last 10 years.
We watched it together, and every so often I'd sort of slight look at Matt and he's got a big grin on his face.
I was going to say, that's what I like about it. Like, even though there is like real, like sometimes it's like real sad shit happening. Like,
yeah.
Everything's just such a fun.
Yeah, you can't not smile when there's certain things that are happening. It's just, I mean, I cry every time I watch it, but that's just because I'm a saddo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was the first time I watched it, so obviously you guys have seen it before. I thought it was great.
That's good. Yeah, it is a good film, like, objectively, I think, which is always good.
The casting was amazing. Like, obviously, Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles together were just amazing anyway.
Yeah.
But
they both like look perfect for, and they're like the mannerisms of her. They were just really perfect for the kind of person they were meant to be.
I hate how relatable she is as well. Like, I realise that I'm her.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Couldn't even finish a sentence. Alright, sorry.
See, the person I related to the most was the dad, which kind of worried me.
I like the dad. The dad, I really like the dad.
He's my favourite character.
I feel like if I had a daughter, I'd be so much worse than him. Like, being a man, knowing the way kind of like guys think, if I had a daughter, it would be full on like, I would not be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want a daughter. I'll just have some savage sons, whatever. They can do what the fuck they like, I don't care.
Savage sons.
I don't want someone I have to feel responsible for.
Yeah. I know what you mean with that. So it says that it brought in $53.4 million.
That's good.
It's alright. I thought it would have been a lot more than that though.
I suppose it was.
But it's 1999, was it?
There wasn't any names in it really. Like, who is it?
At the time, yeah.
Who is it
I
that was big then? And it's
No.
also like it's based off a Shakespeare play. Like, what American is going to hear a film and they're like, oh, it's like The Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, good point.
Though there are good films that do that, because one of my favourite films that is also a romantic comedy is Easy A.
Yeah, that's
Even
a really
though-
good film.
Yeah, is the Scarlet Letter? That's not Shakespeare, is it?
No, it's not Shakespeare, but it's
That's-
again like his stuff, like classic literature, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it can be done well. It did get knocked quite a bit for it because of how much it mentions Shakespeare in it. So, like in the classroom,
Yeah, they did overplay
they were talking about him being like a dead white guy, but he knew his shit, and you know, quite a few. And then
That teacher annoys me.
I know he's meant to, but
I really liked him, but you know,
genuinely, you would want him to teach you.
it'd be hilarious.
Oh my god.
But
I'd be setting
even when
myself on
she
fire.
did the work, he was like, "Get out."
Yeah.
I
know,
understand
but-
he's kind of funny in the way that he goes about it, but still, that's the adult in me.
Yeah,
'Cause I was watching
exactly.
it, I was
Don't
just
look
like,
at it from
"This
that
is
point."
irresponsible as
Yeah,
a teacher.
you're
What are you
shaping children's
doing?"
futures. How could you be so irresponsible?
Exactly.
I think the main weird point to do with Shakespeare was, you know, Kat's friend who said she was involved with Shakespeare. That bit got a bit weird.
Yeah.
I've read some
like-
trivia about that. It's really interesting, actually. So apparently they had like a whole separate storyline with that friend. I can't remember the exact details. I might be exaggerating, but basically, like she was in love with Shakespeare. She imagined being with him, and I'm sure that like in the film they were gonna have her like have a suicide attempt to be with Shakespeare, but they pulled away from that.
Bloody hell.
Like it was gonna
Jesus.
get very serious with that girl and that like delusion, but they realized like, all right, it's gonna pull back from the film a bit here. I can't believe they got like they filmed it. They got that far.
Oh.
Wow.
And they, like, you know, when sometimes they film stuff from a deleted scene and you can like you see hints of it in the film, don't you?
Yeah.
So you catch hints of it during the film when you find out about that. That's why I love reading the trivia about films on IMDb.
Yeah. There was trivia about it to do with Joey. You know, right near the start when they were trying to convince him to pay Patrick to
Yeah.
take out, Joey actually didn't know how to draw a penis. So he had to be taught how to draw it on his face before they filmed it.
Wait, did not.
He didn't know. Yeah, exactly. That's
bullshit. I reckon his mum was like stood around the corner and he was just like, I've never drawn a penis in my life. And then we talked a penis.
It was so weird though.
Penis? What is this island you speak of? This
Yeah.
Pen Island.
Isn't it weird though? Like, obviously, because he was drawing it on the face, but how would you not know how to
Maybe
draw
he was just
that?
nervous or it just didn't look like a penis. Like some people are just bad at drawing. It might have
Maybe
just
he
looked like
has a
heart.
really weird penis.
Oh, that'd
Yeah,
be
that.
awful. Like a deformed bit. Like he's like, what do you mean? That looks exactly like a penis.
He's actually drawing a mushroom on his face.
Oh.
It's got like right angles. We're just like, oh Jesus, how's that possible?
There was only other one bit of trivia that I saw, which obviously you can tell through the film right at the end when she was reading out the poem.
Yeah,
She wasn't supposed to cry as much as she did,
yeah.
but because she like obviously got so into it and felt that sort of way.
I was
That's the part I cry. I
see,
can't.
I was thinking back. Like when I watched it again, I was like, I wonder if I hadn't seen this when I was as young as I had and like kind of naive about film. Like it almost feels a bit heavy. Like if I watched it now for the first time, I'm not sure whether it'd work on me. It'd feel a bit over the top and heavy handed and like.
Yeah.
Why does she have to have a public breakdown in order to kind of confess to her, like in order to deal with her feelings?
Yeah.
But I think when I was the right age for it and when cinema, like films were more along that kind of line, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, like I'm not sure if a film came out new now and everybody saw it, how much that would play with people.
Yeah, see, there's quite a few reviews that sort of notice her back and forth, like between being a strong feminist and not wanting to do anything to impress anyone to suddenly publicly breaking down and then going to the prom and she's all dolled up even though that's not
I
who
know,
she
yeah.
is. And
That annoys me though. Like,
it is
trying
very-
to put people in boxes and it's
Yeah.
everybody's contradictory and got a lot going on.
yeah, that's the only problem in that for me. Obviously, I love everything about it. The main thing, other than the fact that Heath Ledger's amazing in it,
Yes.
was Julie Stiles when she was dancing on the table. I don't know why I like that so much, but
She proper goes for it.
I know, but it's amazing.
I know she's
She's-
good at.
she's-
She works hard. That lady. She,
Yeah,
she
she's
puts.
good.
She gets her money's worth when she acts.
Yeah, she does. She's really good. Like when she found out that she got into the university and that scream that she did, like genuine excitement.
Yeah, she's always done really well.
She's an amazing
She was
actress.
acting.
Yeah, but I don't know why. It just seems like it stands out more.
It's a very
than...
distinctive mannerism. Like you understand the person entirely just when they do little things like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like you were talking about Heath Ledger and Brokeback Mountain, not to like use your pick or whatever. But if you watch the way he kind of talks as his guy in that, like his mouth's very closed off. That video I was talking to you about looks into it, but basically, by like physically doing these tiny little things, you fully get an understanding of the way a person is.
Yeah.
So just from the way he talks and the way he holds his mouth really tight and measured, like you understand that he's a person that's really kind of wrapped up in himself and measured and like got a lot going on inside. So I just think there's like those little ticks are what kind of makes a performance really good.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis's voice in Lincoln.
Which he actually did ticks himself with him when he was the Dark Knight. Well, not when he was the Dark Knight, when he was the Joker in the Dark Knight as well. Which Soph has still never seen that performance either.
No.
Oh, wow.
The legendary.
Locked himself in a motel for like 6 weeks and didn't talk to anybody.
See, this is what I mean. Not like I'd never seen him in anything except this, and now this has just officially ruined me.
That's
now.
a huge jump in person from 10 Things I Hate About You to the Joker.
Yeah.
Also from that to Brokeback Mountain as well.
Yeah, and he's in A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale, yeah, but that's a bit more kind of fun. Like,
is it?
It's a bit more like 10 Things I Hate About You. Like maybe not the emotion, but just being like a charismatic dude.
It's just shit that he's not around. And then you sort of appreciate how good he is, but then every time I watch it afterwards, I'm like, what a shame.
Although I do totally get like caught up in that discussion about like, okay, if that hadn't have happened to him, like, would the performance have been as legendary as it is now? Like, obviously he was amazing, but to what degree was it kind of propelled by him dying in the middle of it? Like, it's a problem with all those kind of Kurt Cobain and all that lot. Like, is it good to drop there or to get to like 60 and do like fucking celebrity ice skating or whatever these sheds do?
Yeah, see, Kurt Cobain, I completely understand. Definitely going off film there, but like,
sorry, yeah.
With
who gives a shit?
With Kurt Cobain, I think, like, I can understand why he was good, but he was massively hyped over because he had died, and then all of a sudden, he was like everybody's favourite.
I'm a massive, like, I really like Nirvana, but they're not like, there's other punk rock bands who are done better stuff than Nirvana, but they're the first name that people go to.
Yeah. Like,
Smells Like Teen Spirit is a genuine piss take against More Than a Feeling, isn't it? And because it was like a piss take, like, so he was taking the mick of the riff from More Than a Feeling about like pop rock songs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the song kind of came from there.
But it's weird because that's like the main t-shirts. Even if you go in Primark, Nirvana t-shirts are everywhere.
That makes me so. I know it's a different topic, but that shit pisses me off so much.
Yeah, no, I know.
So anytime I see like a 13-year-old like boy with like bleached hair and a Guns N' Roses were a bag of shit, by the way. Can you agree that?
Yeah,
why
no,
are we all pretending to like Guns N' Roses? Like, it's not cool.
I like a couple of songs.
They're crazy expensive as well, band t-shirts.
Yeah,
so
I know.
They get to like the hundreds of pounds and shit.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but I don't understand, like, there's like 13-year-olds wearing crop tops of Guns N' Roses and Nirvana, and it's like, you literally have no idea.
Metallica, Iron Maiden, all that shit.
Yeah, no, Iron Maiden, I've seen so many of them.
Yeah.
This is really off topic,
really
but it
off
really annoys me.
I was just about to go across and just say, so what was the story?
Would you like to talk about the story? Even though we've sort of covered it with it being based off the end of the show.
I'll run through it. This is my 1 minute movie rundown. Movie
Summary,
rundown.
movie
1 minute.
rundown.
Okay, so
yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt moves to a new school.
We didn't discuss
I
him
completely
being in
forgot
it.
he was in it. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, me too.
He meets his new friend who looks like a weird version of Oscar Isaac.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was him throughout the entire film. It
You
wasn't.
did. He was like, is that him? That's definitely him. That's not him. Is it him?
It's visible.
Yeah. So he sees what he believes is the most beautiful girl in the school, and he tries to hatch a plan to try and get with her, which involves a bad dude and this girl's sister, which is actually the main character of the film, which is weird. It's really weird, this film, because even though I'm going off the topic of the whole rundown, there's so many different main characters. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of shared screen time.
Yeah. So
like
they managed to trick the bad dude, who's also shit rich, to pay off this random wacko guy to try and get with the wacko girl.
They want to get her out the way effectively so that they can get with the...
Because the only way the sister can go out on a date with anyone is if the sister goes out with someone. So that's the plan.
And the dad's super strict.
Yeah. which I love him as well. He's great. So, this guy, this wacko, starts to kind of break down on wacko girl. They're not really wackos.
Yeah.
You know, the outcasts.
I feel like I've seen the film and this is confusing me more.
It's definitely isn't a
I'm
great summary.
Did you definitely watch the right film?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Okay, so the outcasts, they start to actually get a bond with each other, and even though she's quite an uptight, strong-willed girl, she just kind of
Falls for him,
really, and that's kind of it. I mean, they go to the prom, some shit goes down, then he makes up with her, and then they're like, that's alright, I bought you a guitar, let's be together, and then that was the way to get back in.
She looked at his just face again and she was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, get that thing near me.
Straight surfboard, you. So, that was the story.
You told that very well.
Thanks.
So I was looking at the cast, you know, to see what else they're in, and it blows my mind. Sorry for people that are listening that can't see this. That's what Joey looks like now.
I'm not surprised. He just got a mustache. He still looks alright. I don't know about the
What do you mean
mustache.
still looks alright? He looks like a dick.
No, but dude,
Hey, come on, leave him alone.
yeah, he's meant to look like a dick.
I know, but
He's meant to look a bit like greasy and
I
like.
literally, you know,
Guido.
when he winks at himself in the mirror when he's doing his hair, I just I can't stand people like that, and I know there's so many people that love themselves that much.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Mirror
no.
people.
What I liked in this film, just kind of going through that as well,
Yeah.
are the kind of little real moments people had with each other and about certain things. Because there was a genuine curveball, which, well, you said that you kind of saw coming when you first saw it.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that Julia Stiles' character and Andrew Keegan's character, you know, the bad rich
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
and
Joey.
Joey,
They
had slept
history.
together.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
See, to me, I thought, like, when she said, oh, she used to be popular and then something happened, unsolved mystery, and I was like, well, something must have happened, and she hates Joey, so it just seemed like a thing. Either he fully bullied her, or she really liked him, or something went on. To me, that just came naturally to my head that was going to happen. I didn't think it was that much of a curveball.
I like that they kept it open as well. Like they didn't explain everything.
Yeah.
It was just like one line into it, but that's all you kind of have to know. Yeah, it's like the whole situation with finding out that he's also a single dad as well, like their dad.
Yeah.
Because their mother, she passed away, hadn't she?
She left.
She did.
Oh, she left?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, 'cause even though they were like, oh, well, it's not as if she's coming back, Kat says to her dad, are you punishing me because mum left? And he makes comments towards her leaving them, not that she'd passed away.
Okay, I got the wrong end of the stick there, but even so, there was just like one line to kind of let the viewers know that was the situation there, which I thought was pretty cool.
See, I think the one thing that I like the most about it is, like, a lot of romance films are that you see, like, a couple see each other and then they immediately like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the way that she was just sort of, like, so sarcastic and, like, brushed him off so many times was just, I really like that, because it was, it built
realistic.
up a nice... Yeah. Well...
I reckon, like in the real world, you have a lot more relationships built through persistence than they are through like immediate charisma.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
sometimes two people hang around and like there's something there, and you can tell that they're kind of going to spend time together.
Yeah.
But I don't think it happens nearly as often as like films would have you believe. Like it's all just like a long fudding process.
See, yeah, that's why I don't think romance does as well now, because like romance films are so much about romanticizing feelings, and people watch them because they're like, oh, this could happen, or
it's escapism, isn't it? Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I could be that like just person strolling around in a bikini who apparently has no job.
Yeah.
And can just like make witty comments with some dude in like a six pack and tiny shorts.
Yeah.
Like people
That's
just
very
like,
specific.
I don't know where the shorts thing came from either. 'Cause I'm fairly sure I made that up.
But it doesn't happen as much as they make out, but at the same time it is a nice thing to watch. Like, I love watching things and being like, oh, it's nice that that's out there. Even though it's scripted, but like there must be some couples out there that are like that, surely. And I think that's like a nice bit of hope for people to watch it and be like, oh, maybe I'll find something like that one day. I think that is a nice bit. Because I think I was like that a lot in school, that I used to watch like romantic comedies with my mum.
I do think they are harmful as well. Like I think young people get messed up ideas about how things happen in the real world.
Yeah, there's a expectation level there that people will never hit because of that as well.
Like, how many romantic gestures have you seen or already heard from in real life comparing to anything in a film?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. Not to call like anybody. Well, everyone I know is massively unromantic. well, actually, no, Sam gets Lucia flowers every now and again. That counts.
Aww.
It's pretty decent. Sorry, Matt. Anyway,
See, I
the dog house there.
You've got me flowers twice in 3 years we've been together.
Yeah, well,
You
I
got
don't
me flowers
believe
more
in
than
it.
that.
I'll believe that. But like the bar is definitely set too high, especially the bar's set too high for people that are, say, just starting out in a relationship. Because if you watch a film and then they have like one big argument that sort of shapes the film, and then they're fine afterwards, and then it doesn't show the actual like real life arguments of daily things that happen.
See, a film that I think did a really good job of that recently was La La Land, because if you think, you've both seen it? No. Well, basically everything goes amazing for them and they're fucking beautiful couple, everything's great. Like, they have the beginning kind of not really liking each other thing that they do nowadays, but obviously they start the chemistry.
Yeah.
But then they only show one argument in the film that breaks up the whole relationship that lasts like 4 or 5 minutes. And usually, like, when you see a film do that, it's not really effective. Like, you're like, so that's done everything, them having one little argument. But something about the way it was done, and like the way it was acted and stuff, I guess, like, you could tell there was a lot more historic stuff in there.
Yeah.
And it was just a really well done way of having that argument.
Yeah.
I don't think you see that done very well.
No.
Like, they love doing the beginning, but the deterioration stuff, they kind of skip through because I guess they don't like filming and making it.
Yeah, because there's always the same end goal. They're always going to make up and have that sort of like come back together.
So you can't say anything too harsh. Like, you can't say the real shit people say when they break up.
Yeah.
Where like you can't face them again.
Yeah. It's weird because
no one burns the bridges, basically.
Yeah. It is weird. I think there's a romantic film, My Best Friend's Wedding, which you know I love. Have you seen it?
No.
It's Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz and a guy that I can't remember the name. But basically, Julia Roberts and this guy dated and they were best friends for ages, and then they decided to call it a day. And they both said by the time they hit 30, if they're not with anyone, they'll marry each other. Then they lost contact, and then he rang her out the blue when she was turning 30, and she thought it was out, and she got dead excited. And it turned out he was getting married to someone else. And he wanted her to be the best man. So she had to go and meet this fiance.
How few friends does this guy have that he calls an ex from like 5 years?
But they were like best friends all the way growing up.
Even so.
But if you watch it, like his mannerisms towards her, yeah, like you can tell there's still something there because he reminisce, and then Cameron Diaz is obviously like this, like pretty girly girl, whereas Julia Roberts is like tomboyish sort of thing.
That thing that they do.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I'll never compare to you. He talks about you all the time. There's like jealousy, and then the entire film is Julia Roberts trying to split them up, doing everything she can to stop the wedding. And even all his family are obsessed with Julia Roberts.
Genuinely split them up though. Like,
yeah.
Isn't that quite kind of awful?
It is awful, and right at the end, she decides.
She decides not.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah, one of her gay mates.
I'm never going to voluntarily watch a Julia Roberts film.
Hey, she's amazing.
I don't get Julia Roberts.
I love her.
I don't see it.
I do.
I don't understand it. I can't really act.
She ends up deciding that she's going to leave him and they'd be better off without. Like, she is a terrible person.
Yeah, like she's just toxic to everything around.
Yeah, like she kisses him. She ends up making out as if
the
fiance's done a load of things. But that's the one film where it's a romance that makes it seem like they are actually going to get together, and then it's curveball of actually being like, no, you move on. Cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect it. You do expect those two to end up being together in the end, despite how much of a shit person she looks like, and him. If you actually saw it, he was just as much of an arse back. Oh, I love that film. I didn't describe it anyway.
I was just going to talk about something that reminded me of, but I reckon I might save it for the draft because I'm going to use it as a curveball in the draft, I think.
Okay. I don't think you will because you have no idea.
I don't think so, but I reckon I can throw this in just as being contrarian here.
Oh, you have no idea.
Did you just do a perfect segue?
I was trying to do a perfect segue, yeah. I felt like I want to kind of nail a segue for once.
I mean, by openly asking him, it's kind of ruined the segue. But
I know,
it's alright.
I mean, I could take it out, but still, I mean, credit where it's due.
So most drafts, I give you
Sorry, there was a thing people used to do with me at uni where they'd take the first part of my surname and just put whatever word there and then say war in it. So like pint war, tackle war, whatever, playing football.
Wow.
And I don't know why I just remembered that because that's the first time I've thought about it in about like 18 months. Sorry.
It's alright. So the draft is usually where I give the boys a scenario.
I wasn't expecting that for some reason.
I'll give them a scenario that's usually out of the blue, and because it's under romance, you'd have to pick 3 or 4 characters usually from those films to help you out in the scenario. So what have we had the past few weeks? We've had robbing someone, killing someone.
That was all to do with a western.
Someone with a getaway.
Yeah, there's
the carnival for the horror.
Yeah, you had to have an entertainer, you had to have a
yeah.
chef, and you wanted a shark as a chef.
Yeah, I didn't listen to your question, so I thought you said.
Do you ever?
I thought you said. I'm sure you said sort the food, so I was like shark's food. That's food sort. I didn't realise you wanted like the actual cook.
You have to prepare all the food, like at least yours. What was yours? Hannibal.
I tried valiantly though. I tried to bring the shark thing back. You've got to give
my favourite one so far was the animation one. You know, we had to make our own video game.
Oh yeah, that was. I think we both got really good for that. Like that was like a genuine.
Yeah, they should definitely be games. They were very good.
Go and check out all the other stuff if you want to go and watch that. But I'll listen to that even.
Yeah.
I mean, this could go terribly now. What are we doing?
We'll talk about our greatest hits before of the 8. Of the 8.
Yeah. Nice little laugh.
Okay, so this one's going to be slightly more difficult because it's going to be very hard to put romantic characters within this scenario. But hey, we're stepping it up. Do you know why? We don't have a quiz this week.
All right.
And because we don't have a quiz, I thought I'd make this.
Because I've won like 1 of 8. I was like, fuck the quiz.
I think it's...
No, I wasn't.
We have a quiz each week, and out of 10 or 20, you guys usually get about 4.
Hey,
each.
Well,
sometimes. On a good day.
I love how it wasn't even just like up to 20, just like each. We'll call it at that.
Yeah, that's nearly half of all the questions.
So I'm going to just make this one slightly more difficult. So you guys have your characters ready, don't you?
Cool. Yes.
Of course I do.
I mean, this might not go...
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, well...
Oh, wait, we've got to figure out what...
You need to know what the scenario is,
okay.
mate.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Alright, we'll do rock, paper, scissors first. So, rock, paper, scissors, go.
Because then I'd have to think for a while.
Rock, paper, scissors. Oh!
So I get decide. Or I'll decide when I've heard the scenario.
Okay. Good luck. 4 characters.
4 characters,
I'm
okay.
going to write down the scenario because
You are opening up a freak circus and you are looking for new headlining acts.
What the...
What is with you and clowns and circuses?
Which characters are going to be on stage and how would they fit into the circus freak situation? What would their skills be, performance, and attributes?
What the fuck?
That's genuinely... Right, I'm going second.
So you literally...
What's this got to do with
I think this should be
romance?
part of
It
the
doesn't
deeper
have to be
discussion.
part of romance.
Were you like... Did your parents find you like behind a like in a field behind a circus?
The second idea of the draft was literally going to be, if you were to start a band, who would you want in the band with you
Okay,
for
that's
drums,
worse.
guitar, bass and vocals? So,
Okay.
I mean, I think you
It's just-
prefer the circus.
It's mainly because I thought you were going to adapt it to the genre, so I was expecting how to make your perfect date and who would you take along on that date with you to help you get the perfect
I was
date.
ready for a curveball, but not that curved a ball.
No,
Alright.
I would never do anything for romance that's romantically involved because that's way too easy.
Yeah.
So now you've got
Kind
to
of
think
boring
of
as well.
so you've got to think of characters that could potentially be seen as a freak and what they could do, or if you've seen them do any sort of skills. I mean, it's very difficult, and we're gonna have a lot of silence within this, but it's
I'm
fine.
concentrating so hard.
So there's 4. Do you want 3 to
3,
make it
I
easier?
think we'll do.
3? Okay.
3. Oh no, I had a plan for 4.
Oh,
Right,
well,
well,
you do 4. If you do 4, I'll just work it out.
No, it's alright. 3?
You do 4 if you like. Okay, that's a cheat, but I'm gonna do that. All right, go on, Matt.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay. Well, you've got to, as a main guy for your circus freak show.
Sorry. I can already... The lack of confidence with this.
I know. You've got to have your forefront man who's going to get the crowd riled in order to do anything they want to do. So you've got to have a yes man. don't you?
Oh.
Okay, I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
I'm going with Carl Allen, played by Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
What a
He's
good
going to get
film.
the crowd going. He's going to be the main. What's the word? The host. He's going to be the host, so he's going to get everyone riled up. Everyone's going to have a good time. Yes! Everyone loves it. Okay. Oh, my stomach just went then. Okay, so.
I'm in so much trouble right now. I'm stuck on one.
I know what I'm going to do. All right. So, I am going to revert back to 10 Things I Hate About You. And I'm going to use our main girl, Kat.
Okay.
All right. She's going to be a bit of a wild card with this because she's going to completely play off my other wild card, which is Tiffany Maxwell, played by Jennifer Lawrence in Silver Linings Playbook. Both crazies. They're both going to have a great time on stage, kicking it up, tomboy style. They've got a load of props on stage. We're going to have a great time. It could
You
be
felt that was good, didn't you? That was not. You
Oh,
looked
that
so
was genuinely
happy
what
with that.
Silver Linings Playbook was the first film I put down. I'm so boned. Alright. Is that yours?
So it's just two girls going crazy with a guy saying yes. All the
Sounds
time.
strong. What a circus that is.
To be fair,
Circus isn't the one.
you didn't give us a good scenario.
Yes, I did.
It's
Two
hard.
girls
It's really hard.
with props going
I'd
mental.
rather
You know what we should
use
do
that
is-
for sci-fi. We could have done different
was gonna say,
sci-fi characters.
As a one-off, you should do this
Are you
one as well.
writing?
Because I'm not just like, why should we just have to deal with this?
I'm the host, alright?
Alright, fine.
Unless,
The host doesn't need the intro.
mate,
Mate, it's gonna get real here.
each week we'll take it in turns to write a draft then. How about that?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah?
that's fine.
Shall I do that?
Alright, I've got one. Alright, I'm gonna make this up on the spot. Alright, so my first one is genuinely a good one, I think. Have any of you seen the film Beginners?
No.
It's got Ewan McGregor and Christopher Plummer in it.
Okay.
Basically, Christopher Plummer's like an 8-year-old guy who discovers he's gay. He's Ewan McGregor's dad, and then it's about them dealing with that.
Okay.
Basically, there's a dog in the film that does a bunch of tricks and stuff.
Okay.
So I just take his dog and get his dog to run around and do tricks, and I'm sure there were quite like funny context, like he'd gone to get him food and shit like that. Although
He's
I may
already
have made
eaten
that
it.
up. Yeah, but I'd have nothing else. I'm also then gonna take Freak Circus. I'm gonna go Love Actually. I'm gonna go Martin Freeman and Joanne Page,
Okay.
and they can just stand around in the background being weird, and people won't know what's going on because there'll be no film crew there, but they'll just do their day to day. And
That was all you three, wasn't it?
yeah, 3. I forgot we were doing 3. Yeah, that's fine. Sod it. That's the best I've got.
Oh no.
I mean, it's the real lose-lose situation, really.
I mean, no one's going to be there because no one will buy a ticket for the circus show anyway.
There's a dog and 2 naked people stood
And just
next
two
to by
girls
each
having
other.
a fight with someone just doing any crazy shit someone says.
Yeah, I mean, we can't knock the scenario out of the park every week.
Nah.
So
I mean, I reckon mine could get a lot crazier because,
it depends what you got them to do.
well, that's the point. The audience is going to shout out stuff for anything for him to do, and he'll just do it because he'll say yes.
man. Yeah, see, I think that's the main thing that'll pull it back for you because they can literally suggest anything and he would have to do it.
I mean, if you're talking Freak Circus, mine's proper freaky. Like, there's like 2 naked people and a dog on stage.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, but
freaky
mine
enough.
can be that as well. With a man acting as a dog.
Is that the whole concept of the film Yes Man, by the way? Because I've not seen it. It's just he says yes to everything.
he.
Pretty much.
And they
Yeah,
make a full film out of that.
Yeah, like
Isn't it the same as The Invention of Lying? The Ricky Gervais one.
almost.
But one of them's
it's
got Jim
different
Carrey
in a
in it.
sense of
Well,
he
but
kind of
yeah.
goes through a bit of a, like he's going through a bit of a bad patch, and he's not really open to any sort of stuff, so he just kind of makes a pact with himself that he has to say yes to everything.
It wasn't a pact. Didn't he receive like a
Spell.
no like
No, it wasn't anything magic.
it was something like
Oh, so there's no... It's not forced, it's just stakes he's put on himself.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has to do it. It's like he got into that mindset. He saw it somewhere. I'm sure he did. And then after that, they were like, "Oh, you should go and do this." And he was like, "Yeah, all right." And then he kept on doing it. And then he meets Zoe Deschanel, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that sort of becomes more of a blossoming thing. Oh, it was a good film.
That's a great film.
I thought it was all right. I can't remember Invention of Line. I saw that in the cinema.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
It's because it's Ricky Gervais. I was a massive fan of him. Well, I still
Yeah.
am, but more so then.
I'm sure
Anyway.
it's okay. Yeah, I mean that's the
But
best
yeah,
we can do for the draft.
I mean, yeah, there could have been an easier one. I thought I'd throw out a harder one, but now thinking of romance characters.
It's just strange because it's a freak circus, so you've got to put these characters you've usually only seen in like really mundane things. Like how do you make like someone you've seen in a rom-com have a freak characteristic? Because they're never going to show it in a rom-com.
What rom-coms are Adam Sandler in?
50 First Dates, which was one of my
That
characters.
Just Go With It?
Yeah,
The one with
yeah,
Jack.
Oh,
Just Go
that
With
is
It.
so good.
Is it?
I
I've not
really
seen
like
it.
that.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, I was thinking about saying Click for one of mine, but I couldn't remember anything about it.
Is that a rom-com?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. There's probably a girl in it.
I think there is a girl in it.
I'm sure it's an aspect of it, but then I was like, it's not really rom-com, and plus I don't really know anything about it. But yeah, it's just hard to think of like none of them really exhibit any freakish characteristics in a romantic film, so it's hard to think of what they could be doing.
I think even if they had any sort of skill set that you could use as a headline and act, I suppose they won't necessarily have to be freakish. Not all of them, anyway.
Yeah, because I was gonna be like, just do La La Land and have him sing and shit, but then I was like, it's a freak circus. I was
Oh
gonna go
yeah,
along
that could have
kind
been
of line.
good.
But then I was like, it's not
Yeah.
freaky. Like I thought the whole point was
So
you
you'd
want.
have to perform.
Yeah, I would have had Adam Sandler's character from The Wedding Singer. Like, who won the
Recently.
draft?
No, but
I'd nobody won that. I can honestly say nobody.
I was about to
could
say
win
that's like one of the worst disasters that's happened this week.
And that's without the actual quiz as well.
As context as well, I was like, oh, people have to know about like hurricanes and shit that are going on. Like that was the point I was making. Like with all that shit, it's still one of the worst things that happened this week.
I'm just thinking, like, the actual time that we highlight all the other stuff that we've done, and then that happened with the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Screw it. So, we're talking before about how popular romance films are.
Not very.
Correct. Can you name any romance films that are coming out this year without looking it up?
I was going to look. I thought you were going to just say random rom-com films. I was like, yeah, I've got loads.
No.
No,
Like,
yeah.
Not that I know of that are coming out this year. No.
I mean, there was like an anti-rom-com movement, wasn't it? Where like have you seen Blue Valentine?
I saw people talk about it.
You saw them? Like what? Just
She was sat in
watching
a
from
pub just
across
staring
the
at people.
hall.
There's thing called YouTube, but you know.
Yeah, but it's
alright.
anyway, like I think there was I can't think of any other examples, I don't know if you guys can, but there was kind of a thing going around with films at the time where like, so Blue Valentine, the concept is you the film starts with you you starts with them living together as a couple, then it goes back to how they met each other, and then it kind of slowly charts the deterioration from
Integrates, yeah.
like they kind of have a kid at the start and their relationship's a bit shitty, but then it goes straight to when they first meet and everything's all rosy and exciting, and it's just kind of crushing to watch everything kind of fall apart because it just you watch it from like the peaks of the beginning
Yeah.
to like everything kind of getting day to day and a bit less kind of excited
I think they're important
and
too.
then falling apart.
Yeah.
But I think like I can't think of any other examples, but I think there was like a movement with films at the time like real life romance and like what that actually entails.
I don't know if it's the same way that it cuts across, but it sounds so familiar to 500 Days of Summer.
I was thinking that as well, yeah. Like that film is almost kind of better at it because it uses all the kind of same tropes of the romantic stuff, the songs, the dancing, and like, the bright outdoors.
I can't fully understand. Like, I was confused by it, and I've not watched it in a while. But you know, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
That kind of.
That's pretty much exactly it.
Yeah, that really shows the depth of the relationship.
That's them like erasing the memory of the relationship entirely because they didn't want to live with the heartbreak of it.
Yeah.
So that's
you
pretty
seen
much
it?
as real
I
as it
fell
gets.
asleep halfway through it.
Oh, I really, really.
It's
like
also
that
like
one.
depressing Jim Carrey. Like real, I like the real Jim Carrey acting when he gets
Yeah.
like True Musso shit.
Yeah.
Because like if you hear him talk as well, like he's got a lot of fucked up shit going through his brain.
Yeah.
So I do like when he kind of uses it a bit rather than just being like the clown dude.
I do like Clown Dude.
I love that.
I think 10-year-old me loved Clown Dude, and like 20-year-old me
Loves
like
the real him.
loves real Jim Carrey. But Clown Dude's also great, like kind of escapism.
Yeah.
Just be goofy and everything will kind of work out for you.
So would you say the realistic vibes in a rom-com is what stands out for
Well,
you?
I don't know if there's any anymore. Like, can you think of any that are coming out this year? I feel like they're not profitable.
I was thinking like it should definitely be more of a successful one rather than the idolized romance idea. But I was looking into romance films that come out this year Because I thought with, obviously, it's out now, but a lot of horror films, a new Saw, and things are coming out later this year. And it's just, there's nothing to do
You
with
think
romance
it comes
anymore.
in cycles? Maybe romance will come back in
Yeah.
5 years?
Yeah, it's like, these horror's definitely a thing at the moment, and say action.
I think people into the gritty, like, especially with the TV shows that are big right now and stuff, it's all about, like, dark, kind of tortured people and what they put their families through and shit like that.
Yeah, it's
that,
weird.
Like, that doesn't really fit in with Matthew McConaughey on the beach.
Well, there's 3 films that are the most anticipated romance for how anticipated they can be, and it's called Tulips, Fallen, and Same Kind of Different as Me.
My voice just
Sorry,
didn't
we've
know
lost
it.
Dill. Hello.
Yeah, I've not heard of any of those.
No, me neither. And there was quite a few more that are coming out like early next year that I'd never heard of, that gets no marketing.
Well, it's like what I said at the start,
all.
like, I don't think the actors want to do it anymore because it's a bit, for them, it's got to be a bit shitty and boring, isn't it?
It's the
like,
same.
think about if you're Ryan Gosling and you're doing a rom-com, you're doing the same guy you've done 20 times before.
Yeah.
It's not interesting.
Say, for example,
Unless
you
it is a
get
good
into,
one.
like, the MCU now, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they get millions per film, and they know they've got a set amount of films to go through as well, and that's the big thing at the moment. It's like a guaranteed paycheck for them.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone wants to jump on and do, especially with it being the it thing at the moment.
I think with, like, money being so, like, everything's so hype-based now as well, like, you can't really afford to not go with it. Like, it's dangerous being the person who's bucking the trend. Like, a lot of the times it's not going to work. So I think most of the times now films are just saying, like, this thing's big, we'll do another one of these, or something like this, or something with him, or whatever it is, rather than, like, letting... Because there's got to be, like, good romantic films being written.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a real issue. I think it might be related to the kind of independent cinema kind of died and got replaced by TV, and all the rights went to TV. So I think, like, a lot of the people who would have wrote good romantic complicated character films are now kind of doing other stuff, and they're not going to be able to get the film funded.
Whereas it's much easier to get a series funded.
Yeah, because think about how many TV shows are out there, how many pilots are out there. You've got a writing staff as well, which is easy. It's a reliable job. As a writer, I can't imagine why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Go work in a TV show rather than live self-employed, hoping your next film gets picked up.
See, to me, I think that the mindset of if you want to see sort of romanticized, even though it's not the same, but if you want to see romanticized romance, it would be in animation. Like most Disney's, other than now they're making a massive thing about family.
Nothing.
Like a lot of that is to do with finding true love in that sort of sense. And I know it's completely different, but that's still an ongoing
and
like vibe of
adults
romance.
love that as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing, is like the parents buy into it just as much as the kids do, and we buy into it just as much, if not more, than the kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'll never be a dying thing through animation.
Through like the kind of fairy tale aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there.
But through romance, it is definitely just a dying.
I think people just got tired of it. I think
Yeah.
stopped making money.
See, I think it might not necessarily be something that's dying, but I think it might be something to do with the fact that so many different genres are being mixed.
Well, it's on a bottom weight. That's true, yeah.
Because so many action films now can be classed as action, comedy, romance, because most stories will always involve, like, you know, usually the man and the woman kind of getting together.
Yeah.
And that goes for most action films or any sort, you know, and most other genres, even within horrors, like unless they already die, the two main characters will be together by the end of it. So maybe it's just something that's been kind of, you know, spliced together so much that now it's just a part of every other film together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, if you think about it, what relationship hasn't been kind of done before, and like you've got to kind of come up with a relatively new angle, don't they? And they've done the rich guy kind of whatever, they've done all the different contexts of having a relationship and the way that it brings struggles. So I can't think of, like, can you think of two different people who could meet? So like lesbian cinema was a massive thing a while ago, like Blue is the Warmest Colour and stuff. Like that was the big indie thing because it was it hadn't been explored before.
And then 10 years prior to that, it's Brokeback Mountain first coming in.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think maybe it'll be transsexual films in like another 5 years.
Yeah, maybe. I think with is it the Theory of Everything?
The Stephen Hawking one.
Yeah.
disabled rom-com.
No, not even like with that, but say with that and Me Before You with Sam Claflin and Amelia Clark, how like they sort of show more of the struggle of his life, and then within that, it's sort of you expect them to be together in the end, like you do in most romance, and he decides that he can't carry on living the way that he used to, despite having feelings for her. It doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, I think that became the new angle for a while.
The
whole martyr thing.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably something.
But I think that's done quite a lot as well. Like even in like the superhero things and all those kind of like people pushing away people because they don't want to risk them getting in danger or getting involved in their life and stuff. Like I think it's out there quite a lot.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then eventually, like I was talking about Jessica Jones before, like. She pushed away the whole Luke Cage guy for the whole thing because she doesn't want to get him in danger, and then eventually they end up together. Like I think you see that a lot in films and TV shows.
Yeah, but they end up getting together in that, whereas
they always do.
Me Before You.
That's why that was a good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was talking about shoehorning in stuff, that kind of ties in well with that. As you know, Age of Ultron, Avengers, and then they kind of shoehorned in that
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, with Black Widow and the Hulk. And then you're talking about he doesn't want to be with her because he wants to push her away, doesn't want to hurt her.
Yeah.
And that just kind of hindered the whole film based on that because it was against the actual characters.
It's following a formula rather than what.
But it's more what the studio wants in trying to add certain things to try and check certain boxes rather than actual characterization that's been built over. Even within that has been built over the season of 5 years up until that point.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about putting romance in Captain America and
stuff like that. Captain America: Civil War, that random kiss of
that was
Sharon Carter.
So weird.
Although I think those deleted scenes taken out of that.
Either way, it was still.
They shouldn't have kept that bit in.
Yeah.
If they were going to delete everything else, if they did, then they should have taken that out.
But I mean, maybe next year or the year after there'll be some decent romances that comes out. Like the last decent romance that was really pushed, I think, was
The Notebook.
No.
It's
like Eat, Pray, Love or whatever that was.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also like so dependent on you've got to be able to like feel like the chemistry thing of the two actors. Like you've got to feel like they make sense together. I think that's why Julia Roberts did well for a while because she always seemed to like some kind of actors and stuff like Ryan Reynolds, like Ryan Gosling. Some people seem to always build a rapport with someone that seems like a natural kind of.
Yeah.
Like I know for Blue Valentine, like those two, like Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams, lived in a house together for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And they told them to deliberately like play out how it would be at different parts in the relationship and like they cut for each other and all that kind of shit. And the whole point of that was like getting familiar with somebody in the way you are.
Yeah.
Because I think a big part of like a really strong relationship is just the whole not trying part of it.
Yeah.
What else do we have to do?
It's been a very long one.
It's not as great a segue, is it?
No, we'll just cut this bit out.
I figured that just to round off before Dill's recommendation for next week, do you have a film tip of the week?
Film tip.
We thought we'd try this with our new podcast, so we don't have any quizzes, but we figured that we could integrate more helpful things to do with film rather than just reviewing and film news. So we thought that maybe
like stuff to look for.
Yeah, things to look out for or something. Anything you'd like to suggest?
Anything that I'd like to suggest? Yes. Okay. Well, this is just because this has been a case of what I've been trying to work with as well, is trying to get the best sound possible.
Okay.
So you've got to try and build an environment where what you guys, people listening, will be able to hear some background noise for us. We're working on that at the moment, but in order to get the best sound that you can, you've got to try and mask out as many different sounds as possible. So making sure that you've got like a pretty soundproof room where nothing's going to go in or out. So a good way to do that, especially if you don't have a good microphone as well, would be to kind of box off your microphone in with like some soundproof tiles and just kind of create a box around it so that you've got no vibrations going in or out around it. So you've just got the one area where sound is going through. So sound doesn't really bounce around. I mean, you can find DIY stuff on Pinterest, stuff like that, which are really helpful. But
cool.
Yeah. If you're going to try and soundproof a room, just try and make sure that you mask out as many. Because when we used to have our old studio as well, a lot of duct tape went into that. A lot of investment into duct tape, a lot was basically just to kind of make sure all the different creases and different bits around the unit was covered, so that everything was kind of more contained rather than just kind of spanning out.
But I think the main thing to realize is like you don't have to like spend a lot of money on everything. Like obviously certain stuff, it's important to get the best quality equipment necessary, but you don't have to buy like a load of. You can work things out yourself, just kind of thinking about it and googling stuff. So just be careful what you spend your money on, I guess.
Yeah.
Depends how much effort you want to put into it, because if you know you're going to be doing it long time,
Oh, jeez.
which is why.
Oh, no.
All right, you guys laugh while I just.
Let's do this long time. We have been doing this long time.
We have been doing this a long time. But
No.
no, we've invested a lot in sound and equipment, stuff like that, which is tough to arrange. But that's because, I mean, we've only got one, so we use it quite a lot between all three of us. So we don't each individually have a mic, which is why this show isn't the best sounding that it could be, but it's better than what it could definitely be. So.
And that was a very nice explanation. If
Thank
people
you.
could see your arm movements, they'd appreciate that a lot more.
Well, I have been doing it long time.
Stop, that can't be a thing. So,
That's not been a thing.
our final thing to wrap up with, next week is going to be sport, I believe.
Yeah.
What film would you like to recommend for that?
Debating between this because there's a lot out there I kind of really want. I just think sports is such a great context to watch the film in. The stuff's coincided. I've decided on a film called Remember the Titans, which is actually a Disney film.
Yeah.
It's the sports kind of the context, but it's basically about when the schools were first integrated. They tried to put the white kids with the black kids on the American football team.
Right.
And about like, so the team first has to bond themselves apart, and that happens. I'm just a bit of a spoiler, but obviously it's a Disney film. You can expect them. It's not going to end in a race, right?
Yeah.
But then like,
progression. Go on, Disney.
you get yourself in that like kind of good feeling about like, oh, people can work well together, and then they go back to school, and there's all the normal people in the world outside of the sport environment.
Okay.
But it's just, I think it's a really good like metaphor for like teaching kids a lesson, sport, and kind of it doesn't seem like he's throwing them a message. It seems like it's more like just kind of speaking to them like an adult. Like it makes more sense if you do it in a mature and kind of open way.
Okay.
So I think you guys will enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's a really good film.
I don't
Denzel
really-
as well.
Yeah, I do.
And there's some really good actors who you kind of will have seen. Sorry.
Okay. I don't really watch sports films that much, so this will be interesting to...
There isn't much in it, to be honest. It's one of those where like it's all just context for the fact the relationship stuff and like the way people react to each other. Hayden Panettiere's in it as like as an 8-year-old.
Oh wow.
It's not comfortable. She's good.
Oh,
But yeah, that's my recommendation.
You felt awkward to say she was good then.
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
have you played Until Dawn?
No, she do the voice in it.
She's in it. Like she's
they
like a
did the full
mocap.
body.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's the recommendation from next week. Talk about sport films, so this is absolutely up my street. I wish there was a quiz, because I'd finally fucking destroy a quiz. But oh well.
Okay. Well, I'll hopefully have an easier draft for you next week as well.
Thank you.
Alright, well, I've been your host, Sophie Ellis.
Wait! Where can people find us, Sophie? Sophie.
Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Patreon.
What's Patreon?
Reddit. Probably.
No, don't do this to me. You explain Patreon.
Alright, well Patreon is just basically, if you go onto Patreon, you can kind of help out with everything that we do, if you would like to. If not, that is completely fine. Pretty much. It just helps keep the lights on here at the studio.
Yay!
There we go. Okay, my name's Matt Lister.
I'm a Dylan what?
I've already said it, but I'm Sophie Ellis.
Sophie.
Stop
Say
it. No. And we'll see you next Monday.
Oh, we'll see you next Monday.
Oh,
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Bye.
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 See ya.
See ya.